Good day, and welcome back to Let's Play Hybrid Heaven. My name is Umbaglo, and let's get started. So, last time we fast-forwarded through the area that I'd already played through again. Now we're just gonna go back into the storage facility and try to continue on in our quest to do whatever it is. Now, I know that I have mentioned that Hybrid Heaven is one of the most linear games you've ever played, but it is actually still one that gives you, well, I won't really say path divergences, but it'll give you areas that you can wander in. You're not really doing them non-linearly, but you still have to wander through a zone, so to speak, and try to find out what it is you need to do in order to progress in the progress onto the next battle. Or I should say battle, the next area. So the uppercut here is one of the better punch weapons, along with the hook, because it's one of the ones that has an incredibly high chance of knockdown. Because one of the nice things about a knockdown attack is that the amount of time that it takes for the enemy to get back up usually allows you to recharge your power a fairly significant amount. So if you wanted to, you could use the counter abilities pretty easily. I don't know if I've actually talked very much about what the different defensive options are. You may notice that when you get attacked, you get three options: guard, step, and counter. Each one of them has a I wouldn't really say a chance of occurring, but basically, guard, you try to block the attack. You don't really do anything. You just stand there and take it. Step, you're trying to step away from the attack, and step is actually pretty useless. But it's only good if you are already moving away from the enemy when the enemy makes its attack, and usually that'll allow you to move out of the way. And finally, counter is the one that is the hardest to pull off. You try to block the attack entirely and then counterattack them. And you won't really see me do it, but you'll probably see the enemy do it a few times during this play. And then, conversely, when you are being grappled by an enemy, you have three similar options. You have take fall, escape, and reversal, which are basically the same things. Take fall is you're trying to go with the throw in order to take less damage. Escape is obviously you're trying to get out of the grapple, and reversal is you're trying to take the grapple and turn it against the enemy. And like normal, it's really hard to be pulling these off. So I'll usually just be doing take fall, even though I won't actually succeed that often. And I actually also remembered what stamina was used for. Stamina is used for a number of things. The first is that you actually lose a little bit of stamina when you block attacks. So when you if you run out of stamina, you won't really be able to block anymore. But in addition, stamina is used for some grapple attacks, and it's also used to do a secondary dash inside battle. You can actually run two ways in combat. you can either you can basically either sprint or dash, and one uses up your power, and the other uses up your stamina. Actually, there you can see me just trying to fiddle with the attack angles, because they're sometimes incredibly finicky. Oh, and yeah, you see, even though the diffuser has a bit of a area of an effect around it, you saw that even though I'm stuck on the geometry. Even though I'm trying to aim upwards, which should put that sensor within my range, it wouldn't actually let me attack it until it went back down to the normal, which is kind of annoying. So I realized also one of the reasons why the game is not controlling quite as well as I would like to. And it turns out that my TV tuner software has about a 1 second lag between me doing something and it actually appearing on the screen. So all of my actions are actually being delayed quite a bit. Now I'm hoping this won't affect me too much in the end game. Because otherwise that's going to be really annoying. I actually tried using some different tuner softwares, some commercial softwares, but they actually turned out to be worse. Yeah, for some reason, like some softwares which the people were asking for like $100 for, were giving me 5 seconds of lag. I was just like, I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, so here's another thing you can do. You can crawl along ledges. It should have not been a surprise to anyone. Right here I'm trying to basically figure out how I'm supposed to get to the other side. I don't even know if I'm supposed to get to the other side. And in retrospect, I don't think I was actually supposed to have destroyed that box. But I'm not going to actually realize that in this during this play. I'm gonna have to do that when I play again later. Also, here we have a new enemy type. This guy is actually not that dangerous. He doesn't really hit too hard unless you're stupid. But he does have a very nice bonus. Let's see here in just a moment. Whenever this guy gets knocked down, he drops an item, which is really nice. But there's a limit on the number of items that he's got, of course. But for the most part, I just basically use this guy as a stat grinder, because he's not too strong. He doesn't deal a lot of damage, although he does smash me for quite a bit later on. But otherwise, it's just don't be stupid, and you can use him to level up your stuff. There's actually one thing that the game sort of does well, in that certain attacks actually do have minimum and maximum ranges to them. and it also has effective ranges. Like if you're standing literally right next to the enemy, your kicks are actually usually not going to be as effective. You actually want to be standing a little bit away from the enemy in order for your kicks to get the most powers. And with punches, like for example, these upper hooks are actually they're basically swinging right in front of your face. So you can't be as far away from the enemy when you're doing a hook as you can be with most other punches. This guy is also annoying because he does a lot of self-recovery. But later on in the game, we're going to be getting abilities that makes that pointless. Yeah, that's a counter. And that really freaking hurt. And then all of a sudden his attacks start doing more damage. So it's probably because my body's been injured. I'm pretty sure that having a injured body means that now you're going to just take more damage in general. I'm also pretty sure that the reflex stat is what affects whether you succeed at things like counter or block or all that stuff. And it really looks like I walked right through that item. The really nice thing about enemies like that guy is that because the game is so linear, and because there isn't really any, you may have noticed that there isn't really any money. And basically, there's actually a very limited number of recovery items in the game. So guys like that are very, very good because they will allow you to gain a few more recovery items that you otherwise, a few more recovery items that are very, very important for because of the way the game works. So yeah, I think here, if I hadn't have destroyed that block, it would have been right underneath me. And then I would have just landed on it. Thankfully, though, you don't take falling damage. But I was totally blindsided by that mine. Yeah, there's no way my diffuser is in range from here. I'd have to. I'm pretty sure I'd have to stand on that block in order to get over there. I'll have to do that in my next playthrough. And there's Diaz ducking again. He really likes to duck. The thing about it is that the ducking button is mapped to the trigger button on the N64 controller, and because of the number of N64 games I've played, I am very used to the trigger button being one of your main action buttons, and that means that now I usually push the trigger button when I want to do something, and that do something is very rarely duck. There we get our first second level healing item, not that we really need it. My Charger S's are still pretty good for... And this is lame. I'm glad that you get a little bit of invincibility frames after you stand up, because otherwise that would just be an infinite loop. I thought that would have been another cutscene sensor unit, but apparently it was not. Here's another area which gives you some choices as to where to go, in a sense, but you don't really have much of a choice. You have to go through all of them in order to progress. Now, this is one of the items that I was mentioning earlier. I said I would talk about later. So you may have noticed inside the battle item screen you have two options, refresh and weapon. Refresh is obviously items that will recover your status or your health. But weapons are items that will either increase your battle effectiveness or are actual special modifications to your diffuser. Now, the problem, though, with using the modifications, such as Flame Shot, is that while they do a shit ton of damage to your enemies, you also don't get any, you basically don't get any experience for it. You most of the time, a shot will almost instantly kill an enemy, or at least deal a very significant amount of damage to it, but because you didn't actually attack them physically, and because of the way the leveling system in this game works, you basically don't level up by doing that. So I actually tend to save up my my shots until I basically don't tend to use them, except for amusingly enough, one of the final bosses in the last playthrough. In this one, I just basically went screw it and one-shot him with one of the best guns in the game. Guns are also one use, and each one is... enemies are weak to certain elements. I don't really know in general which ones are weak to which, but the only one that I remember offhand is that in general, human-based enemies are very weak to the ion gun, which you'll be seeing later. I don't know why. It's kind of silly, but yeah. And if the final boss is considered to be a human-type enemy, so he takes a friggin' ton of damage from using the ion gun on him. Yeah, I should have done that. Yeah, there I was trying to decide whether I wanted to actually try and attack or lose a little bit of power and do a counter throw. I thought about doing a reversal, but with the way my health was, I probably would have taken a ton of damage. Now I'm actually... Oh, there's reversal. Or escape. Thankfully, I'm thankful it actually wasn't reversal, but you notice that it does still take all your power in order to do it. That's kind of annoying. It didn't give me Brain Buster. That's one of the better throws. It's not the best attack in the game, which I'm definitely going to be getting, but it's still pretty good. I wish my neck throw was that good. But at the very least, I learned Body Slam, which is a slightly better grapple throw than anything else I got. And at this point, I realized that I'd been playing for almost 25 minutes now. I was like, "Oh, I might as well go back and save, and then continue on doing this later." And I have no idea why Diaz moves so slowly up and down stairs. I need to stop doing that. You can't even jump when you're on the stairs. It just doesn't make any sense. And of course, these sensors came back. I'm actually pretty sure that there's something up there. Yeah, oh, there it is. See, I didn't see it when I was playing. I'll need to find out how I knocked that down. I think I know how to do that now. But I couldn't quite see it when I was playing earlier. Okay, so this is the end of this video. I didn't really get anywhere, but I managed to do a few of the things that I needed in order to progress. So, if you all enjoyed this, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next time as I continue wandering around in the middle of, well, here.